What is YouTube for? It's made for film. Like commentary videos, vlogs, let's plays, tutorials, all great stuff that is amazing to have so accessible and definitely takes its own kind of craft. Believe me, I used to edit for a gaming channel, I know. But what an absolute shame if the platform that first democratized filmmaking wasn't a filmmaker's platform. And right now, as of July 2025, it's really not. And it's kind of mind-boggling that it's not. YouTube is the ultimate test of authorship. What kind of film can one person alone in a room with Wi-Fi and a camera create? And how on earth can it compete with clickbait? And if it can, if someone out there can make films with their full heart in the cynical and AdSense-driven room that is YouTube, without being distracted by endless trends and subscriber growth, if they could tell the stories they want to and build up a body of work in the Wild West that is the internet, truly that person would be an auteur that we should study and should be our paragon for what YouTube should be. This is the fantastical world created by longtime YouTuber kickthepj over the course of 15 years. If you came of age on YouTube during 2010 to 2015, he might be your favorite YouTuber's favorite YouTuber. Someone I stumbled on back in the day, not from a suggested video or the YouTube homepage or a friend sending it, but from amazing Phil tagging him in a video. Intrigued by Phil's promise that PJ could actually draw and was massively creative, I instantly looked up the video and it changed my life. And I watched his YouTube career grow for a decade, even getting to see him and his team at VidCon when they were promoting their partner web series, Oscar's Hotel. I'd seen creative, story-driven content on YouTube before, but there was something so unique and ridiculous and artistic about PJ's work that inspired me in my own way to be an unapologetic filmmaker online as much as possible. And now that I've been a part of YouTube a little bit and been making films, I can't help but reflect on PJ's animation work and marvel about how great a body of work it is, especially for being all online on YouTube. So here's a timeline and analysis of PJ's animated films in 3 convenient eras.
After several months of travel, I came across something rather odd. An abundance of tiny planets for me to explore and claim as my new home. Spiral mind messes and places forgotten over time.
Before I get into his early work, I want to introduce you to the best of his work to get you on board as to why he's worth watching. And to do that, I'd like to introduce you to this film, clocking in at a tiny runtime of less than 3 minutes, is a classic example of what makes PJ great. It's weird and chuckle-worthy, it's low budget and beautiful, its scope is greater than its parts. It's not technically animated in the way you might imagine, but uses some nice camera work and editing to create tiny planets for PJ to explore. This film also became the pet name for PJ's audience, which was really nice branding. I love the surprisingly subversive ending that the film is able to punch despite its short runtime. It's truly just magical. Okay. Now let's travel back to the beginning, to early YouTube, a time of scene hair, randomness, and... So this is PJ's first animated video that's still remaining on his channel. And I think I left a comment here that said something like silent film masterpieces are still made to this day. So, sorry, this is just in my notes and I'm assuming that that's what that meant. But yeah, remember, this is 2008, guys. This is back when there were like no professional YouTubers. So this one's notable for being an early video that is fully animated and in Italian. This short and sweet film is a simple love story that watches like a poem, made out of love and for love. Don't let the camera quality of its first shot fool you. This short's special effects are way ahead of its YouTube time. This one's especially interesting to me because it's the first to explore PJ's theme of intergalactic travel. That'll come back a lot as you go through his filmography. But it somehow feels more slick and actiony than his later work. Over his time on YouTube, it seems like he really was able to hone in on his style and become more than just a scene kid wearing a black t-shirt and jeans.
Welcome aboard the Forever Train. If you see any suspicious activity, please hesitate to tell me. Choo-choo, chumps.
This era is marked by larger scale productions and really just an amazing golden era of PJ's filmography. Starting off with The Forever Train, this snappy short at just about 8 minutes in runtime establishes that new era in PJ's filmography. It's fresh out of uni, and with an all-star crew made up of friends, PJ isn't just making one-man videos in his bedroom anymore. He's making films about trains going to fantastical new realms with fantastical passengers and a blatant reference to Pulp Fiction. You know how sometimes you see a 30-minute long video and you're like, wow, I'm really not sure if I can commit to that, and maybe pass? Do you think there's now an alternate to that where if you see a super short video, like a minute long, internally you think, this must be like a promo or something? Like on a short form platform, it totally feels normal. But on YouTube, home of the 12-hour video essay on the Phantom Menace, it's suspicious. Most likely not a real video. But Party Nightmare isn't that, and despite not having any cartoons in this video, because of the costuming and the animation effect that happens each time the dance ray is fired, I felt like I should include it. And I feel like that sentence in itself is a great sell for why you should watch this film. And film it really is. Look at the careful shots that block out our antagonist's face. Look at the lighting, listen to the pitch-perfect soundtrack, the careful timing of dialogue. What a film. So now we get to Oscar's Hotel. For a long time, this series was kind of lost to time because I'm guessing some kind of copyright shenanigans. But about 6 months ago, it was actually reposted on PJ's side channel. So I have that linked in the description for you to check out. But anyway, back to how this magical series was created. The year was probably like 2015. And PJ was in LA and was creating his most important piece of filmmaking.
It was right there!
It was just there, if memory serves me correctly.
Right? I even remember these crazy...
It even said compact.
It was a compact.
Oh, hang on. Should we ask this guy?
No, we don't need to ask them. We just have to go one more level down.
Okay.
One more level down.
We said that like 3 levels ago.
Trust me, though.
But we only have to...
We could very well be in the wrong parking lot. I'm just going to put that out there for that to simmer in people's brains.
Okay.
We could well be in the wrong place.
It's a nice car park there.
It is nice. It's got good lighting. Like for like as far as car parks go.
Look at that green.
It doesn't make it feel better, though. It just...
Seriously, like that looks amazing. Like the lighting is perfect.
This is not the collab I thought.
We should just shoot a whole sketch here, lost in a car park.
This is the sketch.
This is the sketch.
Well, to me personally, that is the most important, informative piece of content I've ever experienced. Probably the YouTube video I've watched the most. Little aside, I highly recommend it. I don't know why that video has just stuck with me forever. But it was like a behind-the-scenes thing of him making this web series. So anyway, besides creating the most perfect vlog to ever exist, this year also brought into existence Oscar's Hotel, a project that is so 2015 YouTube star-studded that you might go down several rabbit holes afterwards looking up the old channels of your youth and then contemplate the reality of a career in new media. Think about how you're about to be 30, wonder, bro, am I too old for this? I mean, if you're a millennial, otherwise you'll probably be fine. That's probably just a me thing. In 2015, there was this brief golden age of YouTube where a studio called Newform Digital wanted to actually fund YouTube creator projects through creating web series. And PJ appeared to get a blank check to create internet videos and work with the literal Jim Henson Company. This series is actually a follow-up to The Forever Train, and there was a short film of the same name that I think was kind of like the proof of concept for it. And this one throws us straight into the chaos that is this web series.
Everyone pause for like half a second, just 1 second. Olin, come on up here. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
65 and 10 days more.
How were we not gonna sing? He even said, don't do it, and I said, I'm gonna do it.
It's a landmark moment in PJ's career because it shows his ability to direct a large production, develop long-standing internet characters from bits into stories, and stay true to his vision across a large production. And I think another really impressive thing about this project was PJ's ability to get great performances out of all his YouTube actors, who most of them were not formally trained actors and were also wearing pounds of prosthetics and makeup. Being able to coax out performances like these and in an acting style that feels cohesive to the world is such an accomplishment. Like, I feel like there's a lot of shows out there where actors come in with different acting styles and it's not like a whole world, you know? And This is a weird show, guys. Like, it feels like an animated series almost, but then it doesn't, and then it does. It's like very offbeat, very strange, very dark, almost amoral at times. Like there's no moral, and then sometimes there is. It's very chaotic. And to be able to have these YouTubers just come in and give these great performances that make you feel like you're in this world, it's kind of a big deal, I think. Also, Patrick Stewart is in this. Speaking of videos that just formed me as a person, another one that is like random and kind of represents what PJ was doing on his YouTube channel besides his like proper films is the corn challenge.
Just keep dreaming that I'm this cute little corn on the cob sitting in the field with my friends, and then I'm plucked away and my head is ripped off and I'm thrown into the mouth of this giant. I'm being crunched up and then I wake up screaming every night. Other than that though, I'm alright.
This video has this like amazing shot of this cob of corn who PJ turns into. Of course he does. And it's just the most ridiculous shot I've ever seen, and I'm constantly thinking about that when I do skits, and I kind of like just anthropomorphize random objects kind of because of this exact video. And this is just a moment for me to say that like PJ's work has really, really inspired how I approach comedy and like magical realism in film, and it's really cool. I don't know how many other creators, you know, are making stuff and have been influenced by his work, but it's just cool that, like, of course at the time he thought he was just making really silly videos, and he was, but like the real impact that doing videos like this versus doing trends versus like, you know, just doing super vacant fluff pieces, we're literally forming the next generation of people through YouTube videos, you know? Kids are watching this stuff. And I think we owe the next generation better stories instead of just slop, which is a big thing that YouTube is becoming right now. Like, there is not... This video, the corn challenge, could not survive in today's YouTube economy, and that's really sad. There's been a lot said about how YouTube has changed and how it's all about retention editing, and I think we messed up with YouTube. I think we messed up with social media, actually, that we just had no restrictions for it, no guidelines, no gatekeepers, and the algorithm just rewarded like people who are just chasing money and just chasing spectacle. And this is another great time to just rant about algorithms and how these companies face no accountability for their algorithms and what they're creating. They are literally shaping the conversations we have, and then they're shaping this generation's artists and the art landscape, and they face no responsibility for that. They don't even have to be transparent about how their algorithms work. TikTok literally has been proven to have a heating button where they can make things go viral, and yet there's no pressure put on them for what they make go viral and the flip side of what they don't make go viral. And yeah, I think we got social media completely wrong. We built platforms based on rage baiting. We don't have to be motivated by greed on these platforms. It doesn't have to be like this. And ideally what it would be like is it would be something that fosters the next generation of creatives. It would be something that penalizes derivative content, you know, that rewards and highlights and celebrates original stuff, that isn't trying to be TV because it realizes TV also is not great. You know, we needed social media to be something that actually celebrated what it could be, you know, that like built up creators and treated it seriously. All of these platforms are making their money off of the free labor of artists. And that's depressing. Can you imagine if Hollywood was like, hey guys, you're gonna have to fund all these projects yourselves, and then if they make money, we'll give you a cut of it. We've regressed by making platforms like this where there is no funding of creators. And yeah, like the mind-boggling thing that YouTube did, that other social media platforms did, was make media democratized. specifically filmmaking, which is such a weird industry. Like, if you look at it, it's very new. It's only been around for barely 100 years, and it's always been prohibitively expensive, but also incredibly powerful, like one of the most powerful forms of mass media possible. It's this really unique art form, and social media presented this opportunity for it to be democratized and to remove distribution from gatekeepers. And instead of championing that and being like, oh wow, we could completely uproot Hollywood and like give all these people voices and like develop this new generation. Instead, what happened was people just burnt out en masse, and we became focused on trends and brain rot and content farms. It could have been different, and it could be different, and I think YouTube has made the most strides in like trying to be more creator friendly. And it's also just bad business. What other industry can you think of where literally a piece of paper and a couple words can make you millions of dollars? Like the idea of Stranger Things, that, and what it did for Netflix. That was an original idea. Of course, it costs money to execute this stuff and execute it well, but just why wouldn't you build out the infrastructure where that's more likely to happen? Why wouldn't you invest in people to help them get to that point where they can make stuff like that? Like, it's just depressing to see like how short term all these companies are, and it makes sense because this is a really weird way to have mass media. Like, we're still grappling with like this technology and what it means and how it impacts people, but come on, invest in the artist. Like, that seems like a very bare bones thing to do instead of like relying on this free labor from everybody. But yeah, that's a rant brought to you by the Corn Challenge. I think you should also watch that.
It's never rained on this planet before. It's a familiar feeling. The pitter-patter of raindrops bouncing across my face.
So now we move into PJ's fully animated era, which I say started at about 2016. So the first one we want to talk about is Space Kid. Space Kid has PJ once again tackling the tiny planets and space motif, but fully animated with a bit of a meta twist at the end. A commentary on storytelling itself, all in less than 2 minutes. Besides a deeply thought-provoking ending, another thing I love about this short is the colors. That purple is just mesmerizing.
The electrical storms are wild. A bolt of lightning once plucked me from my boat and tossed me into the sea for dead. I thought for sure I was going to become one of them. I got very lucky that day, and I'm still not sure why.
Picking up the same hand-drawn limited animation of Space Kid, Ocean Kid plays with themes of loss and exploration, of a world changing, a world of gifts and merchants, and a world of electrical storms and haunting sirens. Very good.
Despite my apparent love for the ocean, I actually grew up in the countryside. Deep in the thistle woods near my childhood home, I would spend most of my summer collecting strange bugs, oddly shaped leaves, and my thoughts.
The depth in this film, a prequel of Ocean Kid, really prepares us for the future animated films PJ will make. With a 4-minute runtime, it allows us time to get to know the titular? Sorry, I was homeschooled, so I don't know how to pronounce a lot of words. As we learn about his love for exploring and his relationship with his father before he has a transformative experience of the forest's mystery. The animation here is the most complex we've seen so far and gives a nostalgic but also video game vibe that feels so fitting to PJ's filmography. Also, the music in this is particularly haunting and surreal, a real earworm.
それはもしかしてこの怖い姿からもうわかったかな?
What a film. This one always leaves me with the feeling of melancholy and a sense of just how beautiful and short life is, which is unbelievable because it's that kind of film that feels comfortable referencing Handsome Squidward. PJ's animation and writing reach a new level here as he does a homage to anime, even having the film be entirely in Japanese. It's the first film in this filmography that is PJ-less, besides a brief cameo, but not the last. Such a charming little film, while being 10 minutes long and fully 3D animated, and also doesn't have any dialogue. I think that's the only one on this list that doesn't have dialogue. My theory for this also is that with an English accent, boy sounds a lot more like boy, so it'd be like boy. Los boy? Boy? I don't know. I'm also noticing, just going over this list, that a lot of PJ stories are about being lost. And kind of that sense of exploration. So let's let the PJ Cinematic Universe inspire us to spend 2025 watching films on YouTube and getting to know its filmmakers, starting with dropping a comment below on your favorite filmmaker on YouTube. Film is the ultimate collaborative medium, and it really can't exist without you, a willing and patient audience. So teach those sneaky algorithms that the real trend is authenticity and creativity. And if you feel extra inspired, why not make a film yourself? If you're watching this, you probably have everything you need to start expressing yourself through film. And maybe if enough of us do that, we can make YouTube something real.